Morning, everybody. I'll call the meeting to order. I will begin by acknowledging that we are in Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. All individuals entering city-operated facilities, including City Hall, are required to wear a non-medical face mask. Those at the table are not required to wear masks while sitting as long as they are distanced 6 feet from anyone else. Once you leave your seat at the table, you must put your mask back on. As directed by Manitoba Health, we are requesting people avoid close contact within 2 meters with anyone showing symptoms of a respiratory illness, such as coughing or sneezing. If you are experiencing flu-like symptoms, we are requesting that you excuse yourself from the room. Please note, when you are joining the meeting via Zoom, all participants will be in the waiting room and your microphone will be muted until the host lets you in the room. You can watch the hearing live via the City's Board of Revision YouTube channel. When called upon, you will be allowed from the waiting room and permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once you have been heard, you can continue to watch the hearing live via the City's Board of Revision YouTube channel. If any participants are currently watching the live meeting on YouTube, please mute your audio player now. I will introduce the members of the panel. To my left is Marcel Laurando. To my far left is Robert Phelan, and I am the chair for today, Robert Buss. The secretary is Candice Wright. I should say the assessor is Candice Wright, and the recording secretary is Michelle Nepin. We will be hearing applications for the revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the Board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all applications have been heard, and the Board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the order by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be a part of the public record. Use of cell phones is not permitted except by approval of the chair. And if you have a cell phone, please put it on mute or airplane mode. And which one?
Let's check yours first, please.
Yes.
We want Brittany first.
We will begin with 152 Brittany.
Okay, just give me 1 second. I need
He's up on the screen, Bob.
That's going to be on the screen, okay.
Good morning.
Morning. Are you signed in twice, or did you log in twice to the Zoom?
I just have my screen share up on one PC and then my camera on another. If that works, or
Actually, I can't. We can't do any screen sharing of presentation of stuff that you haven't already submitted to us. Or did you submit something to me?
I did, yeah,
You did? Okay, perfect.
yeah, on Friday.
Okay. Okay, so. Good morning. Good morning. Can you state your full name, please? Candace, right? And do you confirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, I do. Thank you. Are you both giving evidence this morning?
This is my wife Amanda. She's here just to be present and help answer any questions we might have.
And I'll just go in, Brett. Can you state your full name, please?
My name is Brett Hamilton.
Confirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we will begin with the assessor's evidence whenever you're ready.
Thank you. The subject property is 0100-5887-000. This is 152 Brittany Drive. This is a two-story house located in Elmhurst, built in 2005. The living area is 1715 square feet. There's a full basement with basement finish, 2.5 bathrooms. There is central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and a multiple attached car garage. The assessed lot size is 5,009 square feet, and the 2021 assessment is $501,000, which is $292.13 per square foot. The property was purchased post-reference in September of 2019, so I could not include that sale price in my analysis for this assessment, but I have included listing photos as part of my evidence. Prior to that sale, the house also sold in August of 2017 for $510,000. I have 4 comparable properties here. They are all 2 stories. Comparables 1 to 3 are located in Elmhurst as well, and comparable 4 is in Varsity View. The year built ranges from 2003 to 2005. Effective year built ranges from 2005 to 2006. The living area ranges from 1,705 square feet to 2,293 square feet. All comparable properties have full basements, and comparable 2 does not have basement finish, but the other 3 do have finished basements. The bath count ranges from 2.5 to 3.5. All comparables have central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and attached multiple car garages. The lot size for these properties ranges from 5,005 square feet to 7,996 square feet. The sale price for these comparable properties range from $472,500 to $620,000, which gives a time-adjusted sale price of $488,100 to $641,700, or a time-adjusted price per square foot of $277.13 to $286.28. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hamilton, do you have any questions of the assessor on the information that she has presented here?
Not at this time. In doing research and preparation for this presentation, we worked with our real estate agent from the time, and we gathered some comparables. So my only evidence there would be kind of if anything I present, just let me know that if it's useful or not, and I can zoom past stuff.
Well, we will hear your evidence momentarily, but we'll see if there's any questions from the panel of the assessor. Mr. Feelick?
I have no questions at this time.
No, I'm good. On the presentation.
So you're showing a sale in August of 2017, and there was a later sale, which was post-reference. So the reference date is April 1st, 2019?
2008. Yeah.
18, okay. Okay, I don't have any questions. So, Mr. Hamilton, we'll hear from you. You can give us your evidence. Give me a second.
So these are some of the reasons why I had my wife in the room. She mentioned that I did have a typo on this slide. Is the last sale date was 2019, not 2018.
That was your purchase in 2019.
Yeah.
Okay, that's post-reference, as the assessor has mentioned, and we are working on a value with a reference date of April 1st, 2018. So we don't look at information that happened, things that happened after that date.
That makes sense.
Anyway, continue with your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we moved into our house in September of 2019. We encountered the house and the property after I had sat on the market for a number of months. Here's just a couple more pictures. I believe these are in your slide package, some of the details of our property. I don't need to go into more details there. So our property was listed in May of 2019 priced at $519,000. We encountered multiple price drops leading us into August of 2019 when we encountered the house posted at $479,000. After lots of pricing drops and that sort of thing, we saw this pattern, and this appeared to be a good opportunity for us. We've got a fairly young family, and coming into this neighborhood was a complete blessing for us. So we offered them the price that we were able to afford, and that was awarded at $458,000.
Okay, that's post-reference, so there's no need for you to go into that sale anymore. That's
perfect. Okay. Again, the details that you have in front of you are just about the property, and this is what we used to drive some of our information based on our most recent sale and these details. So we selected properties based on the sale date and between November 2017 and November 18, with two-story houses in between 1,600 and 1,800 square feet. So our house was also built in 2005. So we selected some houses, some more recent builds as well. So we have the first one on Spillet Cove. Recent build.
Where is what page is this on, please?
Pardon?
I'm having a little trouble following here. Sorry.
Double click it and it'll open up.
Okay.
And then you can follow it down. It'll be on the page.
Okay. Did you have the PDF document I provided along with a copy of these slides?
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, but 1 minute.
These are the ones.
Spillet Cove. Okay. Now your comparable number 1 is 55 Spillet Cove.
That's correct.
Okay.
So these comparables were created with the help of my real estate agent, and to get some comparables and that sort of thing. So we tried to get properties within Charleswood that were kind of within these specs. It looks like on the comparables you guys generated that I received this morning, you guys had slightly different criteria, but that's where I'm hoping this kind of helps. And yeah, I'll proceed then.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So the first property was 55 Spillet Cove. Some of the factors we're kind of watching that I understand are significant towards property assessment is your land size and your square footage, as well as selling prices. And I appreciate that market value is different than tax assessed value, but nonetheless is contributing factors. The assessed value of this property was $404,000, and I received this information from the tax board, which is a really helpful resource. So the difference here of a sale value of $474 and an assessed value of $404.
Well, as you might have heard in my preamble, we won't be considering assessments. We don't compare assessments, but we are interested in the sale price. The sale date was March 16th, 2018. Is that correct?
The sale date.
That's correct. It's
Yeah.
right against the board.
Okay, continue on. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no problem. Those are good details because I do want to make sure that this is all like kind of valid comparables. And with the addition of the sale date, I don't have the sale dates right in front of me. I wasn't studying that attribute, but we can kind of go through as best as possible. 15 Kowalski Crescent, recent build. So this had similar. Let me get rid of this here. This had a similar square footage, similar attributes. Assessed value sale price of $450. And an assessed value of $418. The third property, 30 Savoy Crescent. I believe this one had a larger lot size, slightly older build, similar square footage and attributes of the property. Sale price of $435, and then the assessed value of $421. And as I'm going through some of these comparables, the majority of these values are kind of based on our recent sale data, which unfortunately isn't a valid contributor. But that's kind of where we're seeing some of the patterns starting to emerge, is the sale value and the assessed values, as well as the property features. 70 Brittany Drive. This is right down the street from us. The same kind of pattern continues with similar lots and features, and their listed sale prices. Yeah, $427 sale price with the assessed value at $425. And I'm gonna just keep going here. So when it kind of came down to it, the advice that we were given is that, and one of the reasons why we kind of jumped on our property was at the time when we were looking at it, the initial offering price of $420 was the or $520 was the initial price that they started offering the property at. As the price had fell down into the 470s, it started to become more approachable to what the more accurate market assessed value should have been for this property. So when we offered in the 460s, that felt to be a much more comfortable price, but based on the square footage and based on some of these comparables our real estate agent was also seeing, it was more in line what was accurate for the property. So we were fortunate that they did accept our bid, and this was the advice of our agent and our advisor here, is that the assessed value should be more in the range of $450 to $455. These were just kind of revisiting a couple of my arguments and viewpoints that we had based on the sale data of a recent sale, which isn't admissible at this point. We felt as though, and as we watched the market price drop, we reviewed a few of the comparables and leading to a recommendation of potentially an assessed value between $450 and $455. And we really do appreciate your time to be able to consider our property and just seeing what is the appropriate fit. That's everything that I have for now.
Okay, thank you. We'll see if there's some questions. If the assessor has questions of your evidence.
Yeah, so I noticed the last three comparables were built in 1977, 84, and 79. So do you feel that properties of that age would be comparable to your house, which was built in 2005, that would have a similar value? Yeah, so I guess we did our best to get not only age of the house, but also property sizes and features within the house. Some of these different properties have recently
large renovations, different work being done to the houses, which do bring them out. Obviously, with newer construction builds, there is new features that bring in with better insulation, different features like that. But we do have a relatively small lots compared to a lot of the lots we see that some of these lots have, and that was one of the things that really stood out to me was lot sizes are quite a bit smaller, and yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Laurendale, any questions?
No, you laid it out quite well.
Mr. Felix, any questions?
No, thank you for your presentation. It was quite detailed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm told that's the strength of mine in my profession, is that I'm very detail orientated.
Very good. And you consider your house to be in average condition?
We're immensely grateful for our house, and we view it as an excellent house. And but we also want to just get something reflective of that's comparable.
And some updating.
Okay. That is all the questions I have. Any need for summation from the assessor? Anything you'd like to wrap up?
I think we've pretty much covered everything. I feel that the comparables I've presented are fairly similar in age and size to the subject property. And I feel that it is supported or within 5% of market value as shown by the comparables I've presented.
Can you speak a little louder?
Sure, I'll try.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yeah.
any final words?
Not for me, other than just to say that we really do appreciate that service continuing during these COVID days, and thanks for just continuing to show up at the office. It's really great.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation, and you will hear from the board in due time, hopefully not too long.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Next property on the list, we will hear 31 Jaymore Drive.
That applicant is no longer in the meeting. So if you can go down to the next one.
Okay, we will go to 276 Niagara Street. Ryan Iyer. You take that seat, please, down there. And,
I'll try to get the other.
okay.
Ryan John Desire.
Do you affirm that the evidence was presented to the truth of the truth?
I do.
Can you have something to do?
I don't know. I didn't
That's fine.
prepare a presentation.
No, that's okay.
Morning.
Good morning.
We will hear from the assessor first. Is right. If you would like to take us through your information.
Thank you. The subject property is roll number 1205-2807-000. This is 276 Niagara Street. This is a 2-story in North River Heights, built in 2019. The living area is 2,434 square feet. There's a full basement with basement finish, 2 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms, and 2 showers. There is central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and an attached multiple car garage. The assessed lot size is 4,415 square feet, and it's located on an external corner with a light traffic influence. The 2020 assessment for this property is $897,000, which is $368.53 per square foot. The most recent sale was in August of 2016, and that was actually when the old house was still on the lot, which was demolished after and the new house was constructed. I have 4 comparable properties here that are all 2 stories located in North River Heights and Sir John Franklin neighborhoods. Comparables 1 and 2 were built in 2010 and 2011. Comparables 3 and 4 are actually older houses that have been extensively renovated. So comparable number 3 was built in 1925, but the effective year built is 2000. Comparable 4 was built in 1927, but the effective year built is 1997. The living area range for these comparables is from 1,930 square feet to 2,467 square feet. All have full basements with basement finish. The bathroom count ranges from 3 to 4.5. All have central air conditioning. All have fireplaces except for comparable number 2. Comparable 1 has a detached multi-car garage. Comparables 2 and 3 have single detached garages, and comparable 4 has a multiple attached car garage. The lot size ranges from 4,410 square feet to 5,237 square feet. The sale price for these properties range from $730,000 to $905,000. Time adjusted sale price range from $792,000 to $921,500, which is a time adjusted price per square foot of $371.63 to $412.43. So I feel that based on these comparable properties, the assessment for the subject property is supported by market evidence. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Iyer, do you have any questions of the information that the assessor has presented?
Yeah, just quickly, it's showing is our property of 2,434 square feet, where it's actually 2,365 square feet. And if you look at the actual permit, which is on page 3 of the handout, it does note that as well in the description of 2,365.
Yeah, so that actually happens often, and there is a note here from when it was assessed, is often the plans don't include the area of the stairs on the second floor, but because we use external measurements, it's included in our areas. So that's likely the cause of that discrepancy in the area, is just different ways of measuring.
Okay, yeah, because our plans do include the stairs as well.
Okay, I can look into that.
Sure. And so, yeah, that would be my only questions there regarding that specific. And then, of course, the land influences there too. We are on a corner of actually Kingsway and Niagara, so there is a fair amount of traffic in that area too. So Kingsway is quite a busy street, and there's actually 2 different schools located on Kingsway too, one on Queenston and one on just off of Oak Street as well.
Okay. We'll see if the panel has any questions. Mr. Lorendo, any questions?
Not of the assessor.
Mr. Feelick, any questions?
Nothing from the assessor.
So this would be considered an infill, I guess is the
Yes.
word for it. So your comparables 1 and 2 would be infills, or just a little bit slightly older, but
Yes.
along that same line.
It is difficult to find. There are actually quite a few infill properties in this area that sold post-reference, but as for sales I could review, it can be difficult to find infills. So that's why I chose to select the 2 properties that were highly renovated, especially 270 Niagara, since it's so close to the subject property. I felt that it was a valid comparable.
Okay,
I guess I do have a question when you're done.
I'm finished. Go ahead.
Did you establish a land value for the area?
I mean, we would consider the August 2016 sale of $255,000 approximate land sale, since it was purchased with the old house, which was demolished shortly after. I didn't review other land sales in the area, but I would say somewhere around 250 is likely.
Yeah. Let's go back briefly again. You're at 897.
Yeah.
And if you took the construction cost at 6 and the 255, you're only at 855.
Declared construction value on permits isn't necessarily always exactly accurate either. So we do review that value.
What was the sworn value at the? What was the sworn value?
Sworn value?
Did you do a sworn value on this one when it went to the?
No.
They didn't have to? Okay. I've got no further questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Iyer,
if I can
have
just-
you presentation that you were doing?
She wasn't finished answering the question.
I just noticed, so the
Oh, I thought
declared
you-
construction value on the permit is actually 650.
I can't hear you, sorry.
650,000.
Yeah, you're not speaking loud enough.
650?
Yeah, this declared construction value on the permit was 650,000.
Oh, there it is, another, see, there's a 5 in there. That would put you up at the, past the range, okay?
Sorry about that, thank you.
Okay. If you'd like
Yeah, I
to-
don't have any handouts. I apologize. I didn't know that we were supposed to have presentation. But I agree, 270 Niagara Street, which is actually 2 down from us, that is a lot closer, and it was almost an infill project. But my 2 reference properties were 59 Renfrew Street, which is actually 1 block further north as well from our property too, and as well as 30 Renfrew Street too. These are both infill properties. One being my architect and one being my my real estate agent, and both of their properties, which 59 Renfrew has a sizable amount more square footage. It actually is about 3,100 square feet. So that is just shy of 800 square feet more than our property. And it was assessed at 890,000. So that's my biggest reference point, especially because it's a pretty much very similar property to us. Our architect has a very similar style to us too. Basement's finished. It's a sizable amount bigger property as well. It has more width as well as depth on it too. So I would say that's a lot closer of a comparable versus some of these older properties to us.
Okay.
And I also went into some detail regarding tax numbers too, regarding.
Well, we don't look at taxes.
Okay.
Taxes are a product of the assessment, so it's
Just strictly assessment values?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I went in through Tuxedo as well as Old Tuxedo, and they have significantly bigger land size to us. A very good comparison was 427 Shaftesbury Boulevard. It is assessed at 898,500 current data, and a significantly bigger lot than ours, almost double.
Is there a sale on that property?
Yeah, that was back in 2017.
Anyway, those are questions. I'll leave those for the questions. Go,
2016
continue
actually.
on.
Yeah, 2016 for 850. And the time adjustment sale price is 898,500.
Okay.
So those are our direct comparisons of what we feel, especially with infill property. It's a kind of a tough property to assess being an infill. But yeah, us being on a very busy street, I would feel that we would be a lot more comparison to 270 Niagara, just because it's a little further into Niagara. And yeah, we're at quite a busy intersection there.
Okay. Is that
Yeah, those are my comparables.
okay? We'll see if the assessor has any questions.
Yeah, the 2 you mentioned at 30 and 59 Renfrew, did those properties sell? Have they sold?
Those are both infill properties. So they did full demo on their exact same as us.
Okay,
But they were constructed earlier than ours. 30 Renfrew was finished construction in 2018, and 59 Renfrew would have been, I think it was 2014 or 15.
but they haven't sold since they're fully
No,
constructed?
they have
Okay.
not.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll see if the panel has any questions. Mr. Feelick, questions on the evidence?
What assessed value do you put on your property?
Well, considering that we're a lot closer to the 59 Renfrew in style and both smaller size, I would say we should be for sure in the lower 700s.
From 897.
Yes. Yeah, because the bigger property on Renfrew, which is Northern River Heights, even further Northern River Heights than us, is at 890,000. So we should be, if you look at price per square footage at 800 square feet less, we should be lower to mid 700s.
You want to give me a number instead of low 700?
725 then.
Okay.
Mr. Laurendeau?
So you thought the house at 270 Niagara was your best comparable that the city was offering?
Well, no, in their set, yes, I would say better comparables would be 30 Renfrew and 59 Renfrew.
But you did say that
In this set, yes.
in this set.
Yeah, maybe a lot closer because it's 2 houses down from us.
Yeah. So, but it comes in at $402 a square foot, where yours is coming in at $368 a square foot.
Yeah, I still think that that's assessed high, their property.
Well, that was using an actual sale. 820,000 was a sale in 2017, and it adjusted up to 839,000.
Right,
It's a smaller house than yours.
right.
So you think you're worth less than the 839,000 that this one's at? You're coming in at 725.
Well, comparables to on the Renfrew, I would, because that's not an infill property. That's just a big renovation property, that one there.
But it's got even with the renovations, it's only got a 1997 year. Yours is built in 2019.
Correct.
So why would yours be worth less? Did you spend close to 600,000 building it?
Probably over that, yeah.
Over that?
Yeah,
Plus the land?
correct.
So you're probably into the $900,000 range. So why would it be worth 725?
Well, what we actually paid for the actual build itself is kind of irrelevant to do with assessment, right?
No, it establishes a market value at the time. Then you bring it back to 2018 value.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree, but the direct comparisons, what I feel, are a lot closer, 30 Renfrew and 59 Renfrew, because those are actual infill properties.
I'm done, Mr. Chair. It's your turn.
Thank you. And I think the assessor asked, but neither 30 nor 59 have sales on them. Is that?
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay.
Just with the pre-existing houses on them.
I don't have any questions. Ask the assessor anything in summation.
I think that's good for me. Covered everything. Thank you.
Sorry, did I cut you off?
No,
No?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr.
Maybe
Ayer,
that cuts you off.
anything you'd like to wrap up?
No, just that, I think the properties on 30 and 59 Renfrew would be our closer comparison, our closest comparisons, being the infill properties, but that's it. That's everything.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, Mr. Reimer,
Hello,
good morning.
morning.
We will look at your property now. We will begin with the assessor first. She will give her information, and then we'll have questions, and then you'll have a chance to give your information.
Okay.
Secretary will swear you in first.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you state your full name, please?
My full name is Laverne Dale Reimer.
And do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Wright, if you would like to take us through your information, please.
Thank you. The subject property is roll number 0100260000. This is 31 J. Moore Drive. This is a 2-story house located in Ridgedale. The year built is 1976. Effective year built is 1985. The living area is 2,837 square feet. There's a full basement with basement finish, 1 full bathroom, 3 half bathrooms, 2 showers. There is central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and a multiple car detached garage. The lot size is 13,497 square feet. The 2021 assessment is $700,000. The $700,000 is actually a 2020 board decision. I have submitted the order for that appeal as part of my evidence. And that decision has actually been appealed at the municipal board so for the 2020 board decision where the assessment was lowered to 700,000, I've used the same comparable properties as during that appeal hearing. So I'm asking that the assessment be confirmed since this property is pending a municipal board hearing that has not been heard yet. I can go through the comparables if you like.
I think you should. We are not bound by previous board's decisions. So we will look at this property as it is presented.
So I have 4 comparables that are all 2 stories in Ridgedale. The year built and effective year built range from 1969 to 2005. The living area ranges from 2,552 square feet to 2,982 square feet. All have full basements with finish. The bath count ranges from 2.5 to 3.5. All have central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and attached multiple car garages. The lot size ranges from 6,856 square feet to 11,886 square feet. The sale price for these properties ranges from $538,000 to $738,000. Time adjusted sale price ranges from $540,700 to $763,800, which gives us a time adjusted price per square foot ranging from $211.87 to $275.44. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Reimer, do you have any questions of the assessor on the information that she has presented?
No. Yeah, just a little bit of a correction. For my house at 31 Jaymore Drive, I've got, just to correct some data, we have 3 full baths, not 1. 1 half bath, not 3. And I don't know how you count the showers, but each one of the bathrooms has a shower too.
Okay.
That's part of the bathtub. So I don't know how you, I've got 1 separate shower and 2 bathtubs, or 2 separate showers and 1 bathtub.
Okay, so that would actually, if there's 1 full bathroom and then 2 3-piece with separate showers, that would match the data that we have. We consider a full bathroom with a tub, and then a 3-piece is a half with a shower.
Okay, then your data is correct. Then it's 1 and 3.
Thank you.
1 and yeah, that's correct. 1 and 3. Sorry.
No showers. You don't need the showers in there.
Well, a half bath with showers, how we categorize a 3-piece bathroom. Half bath.
A half bath without a shower is a half bath. Half bath with a shower is considered a half bath, and then you add the shower separately.
Yes, that's how we.
Okay. A little bit funny, but understood.
Okay.
Okay. This is old data, of course, because this is being appealed right now, and so I've done the calculation, and basically, I have no questions.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it then for your presentation. We'll see if the board members have questions.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Filek, any questions?
Of the assessor?
Yes. Mr. Laurendeau, questions of the assessor?
Looking at your comparables, why did you go all the way down into that newer area to get your comparables? You only have the one on Bishop Lane that's
Yeah. Mainly due to just the small number of sales in this area. I mean, I know they are still within Ridgedale, but I know they are newer properties, some of them. Bishop's Lane is the most similar in age. The subject property has also been renovated, which brought the effective year build up to 1985. But I do realize that comparables 1, 2, and 3 are newer than the subject property. There really aren't that many sales within the Ridgedale neighborhood, so I felt that based on size of the properties that these could be used as comparables for the subject.
Your number 3 comparable is probably the closest at 94, correct? And the size, 2,800 square feet.
Yeah, comp 1 is a little bit older, but it's larger, so comparable 3
So
is closer in size.
and that one's at $212 a square foot. You have this one at $246. Why would that be?
There's a wide range of sale prices. The subject property is renovated according to our records.
Yeah, you got it at 1985. That's
yeah.
correct. Not 2005, 93.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, I just don't base my assessed values on one specific sale. The property at Great Elm Cove, comparable number 3, does have a heavy traffic influence. It's on the corner of Roblin Boulevard, and it actually also has a commercial influence because it backs onto properties along Roblin Boulevard. So I feel like that would affect the assessed value as well. There's a small amount of green space, but the backyard backs on an angle onto Roblin. So the amount
sort of.
Yeah, there's like a small amount of green space, and then it's Roblin behind there. So I feel that the traffic along Roblin and backing onto commercial businesses on the other side of Roblin would have an effect on the value of that property.
How about Bishop then?
Yeah, I feel that's a fairly good comparable as well.
11. Why is that? Is it because of the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's older than the subject property. And like I said, I feel it's within the range. I don't look at one specific property. I look at a range of comparables when reviewing the assessment.
Okay, I'm good.
Thank you.
Do you have any information on the renovations that have caused the age variance?
I should have some in our notes here. Just one moment to find that. Okay. So our notes indicate that there was a full renovation of the home between 2015 to 2018. So there was a permit taken out in 2008. Sorry, just one moment. I just want to go over the notes to make sure I have the
2008.
Just one moment. So in 2008, there was an addition and renovation that had occurred. So the property was upgraded at that time. And then there was another permit in 2014, it looks like, to finish the basement. And the note from the assessor who inspected the basement finish, he made a note that the property had basically been fully renovated between those years. So it wasn't all at one time, but between 2008 and 2015.
Now I gotta go back.
Okay, well, that was my only question. Go ahead, Mr. Lorneau.
So you said the renovation, what was the size of the renovation that was put on in 2008?
The value?
What was the size of it? How many square feet? Was it just a sunroom or was it what was it?
I don't have that information here, unfortunately. I don't have a copy of that permit from 2008, sorry.
So this house was constructed in 1976, the subject property, correct?
Yes, the original house.
Are you
76.
aware if it was built under, I guess, did it still have the 76 standards? Were they 2x6 walls back then, or were they 2x4 walls?
I'm not too sure what it was built with.
Because your Ridgedale ones all have 2x6, 2x6, 2x6. Two of them do. 1 and 2 both have 2x6. 46 William Marshall, 87 William Marshall. But that one could have 2x4. I guess we'll have to find out because it didn't start till 1980. And you've got your marking effective year 85. But it's, anyway, let's see what the president has to present.
Okay. Mr. Reimer. We would like to hear from you now, please.
Sure. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. The addition that we put on in 2008 for your records was 563 square feet. And in 2014, the basement was renovated. The basement's around, let's see, 1,200 square feet, 1,211 square feet. Out to out. Outside face of finished wall to outside face of finished wall. So the interesting thing about the renovations, though, were that they were partially due to requirements from our insurance company to fix my roof. So I put the new roof on the new addition. We just added an addition onto an existing one-story part of the building to add to make it a two-story space. And and part of the renovation cost was to fix structural issues related to the original construction also. So there was no really inherent value increase because of structural or roofing modifications. The basement was the same thing. We had I had water ingress in my basement, and the floor, the structural floor in the basement had failed. So I removed everything inside the basement, put in a new structural floor, and the north side of the basement wall had a 30 foot crack all the way along. So it needed structural repairs and waterproofing from the inside. So part of the renovations for both renovations were for structural and maintenance issues. That being said, when you say complete renovation, that's not really a true. When your assessor says the whole house is being renovated, that's not true. There are portions of the house that haven't been renovated, including the majority of the original two-story building, or about half of the exposing face wasn't renovated. About maybe a third of the windows weren't replaced. About half of the roof on the house and the garage roof hasn't been replaced. So that's original 44-year-old construction. And the two furnaces in the basement are over 25 years old, so they haven't been renovated either. So the whole house hasn't been renovated in that period of time between 2008 and 2014. The last time I presented for my previous, I guess it was a 2020 assessments. Just for clarity, how come you're assessing everything on a yearly basis now? I thought it was every 2 years you were doing assessments.
It is every 2 years. So the board decision from 2020 of 700,000 is the same value for 2021. So it's still at the 700,000.
Okay, so the last time I presented, I didn't have my comparables on my computer from my real estate agent, but she said the comparables were she had the same argument that one of your board members had was, well, why are you choosing these? They're all newer housing, and they don't represent the age of my house. And one of the arguments that my real estate agent has brought up a number of times with you now, because I'm appealing every year now, is that you can't just take can't just take a house and use general inflation for a house, especially a house of my age. Because what happens is that you reach a certain peak, a maximum price, and then people don't look at my house anymore because they can buy a lot and put in a new house for the same price. So consequently, they don't buy old houses anymore, or even renovated old houses. So the example that you're using here for 87 William Marshall Way proves my point exactly. Is that it's a newer house built in 2005, and you can build a newer house for a reasonable amount of money, and you get more value of it and more longevity out of it. So basically, my point when I presented last time was that because I didn't have my comparables, I said, well, let's use the City of Winnipeg comparables. Outside of 87 William Marshall Way, which I don't agree with because it was built in 2005, and 46 William Marshall Way is also sort of it's, if you use the effective year, it's still newer than mine. 11 Great Elm Cove is newer than mine. 50 Bishops Lane is the only one that's sort of maybe closer. So even if you take the average of let's say 11 Great Elm Cove and 50 Bishops Lane, you're looking at an average price of $602,000. That's more comparable. 87 William Marshall Way is not comparable at all. It has a brick driveway, it has brick siding, has cedar shakes. It's got more developed landscaping than mine. It was built in 2005. I think you got to throw that one away. And then if you want to come and get it back to a 1985 average, which mine is, then you should just take the 1994 and the 1969 and average those two out, and it should be about $602,000. And that's where I think it should be, just using the City of Winnipeg comparables again. I'm not using my comparables at all. I've got, like I said, I've got a 40 plus year roof over my garage and half of my house.
Okay.
By the way, I've got a third furnace in the house too that was put in 2008. It's already been rebuilt once to the price of $5,000. So each furnace that has to be rebuilt costs $5,000. So I've got pricing to replace the two furnaces right now, and they're about $5,000 or $6,000 a piece.
Okay.
So it's not a new house. It's not a new house at all. My driveway is a 44. Half of the driveway is 44 years old. So if you look at my driveway, and then you look at 46 William Marshall Way's driveway, it looks like it was made yesterday. Anyway, that's sort of my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Reimer. We'll see if there's questions for you.
Sure.
With the assessor, any questions of the applicant?
Yeah, I was just wondering, you had said you were speaking with a real estate agent. Do you have any of the comparables that she had provided?
You know what? I tried to look for it last week, and I couldn't find her. Her email had it linked onto her FTP site, and the FTP site had dried up over the course of the last year. So I can send the comparables when I get them. I haven't received them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Felix, questions?
No, I think you raised all the points that I have. Thank you.
Mr. Lorendo, questions?
No, I'm good.
I have one question. You were comparing 50 Bishops Lane. Their land size is 8,485 square feet, and your land size is 13,000. Do you think that makes a difference? Is your lot more valuable? Your location more valuable?
Well, 50 Bishops Lane is, it's interesting because their living room window faces a park-like setting, if you want to put it that way. That's Albrechtson's big lot across the street. So they've got a beautiful view of a fantastic park for the time being. If you look at my site, you'll find that, you know, my site area is more of a fluke of geometry than anything, where the road goes from the adjacent sites go from the property to the north is a truncated site because there's a cul-de-sac on the back of the site, and my site, and then going to the south of my site, the properties are smaller too, and so there's a bit of a geometry thing that causes my whole front yard to almost be not usable because of the geometry. So my yard is larger, but if you look at how the geometry of the streets were set up, you can tell, you know, that a lot of my property is not usable because of that. But it's a fairly large site, long site compared to the neighbors. But again, the front yard is hardly usable because of the geometry of the city planning.
Okay, thank you. That was my question. Anything in summation from the assessor?
No, thank you.
Any final words, Mr. Reimer?
No, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for your presentation. You'll hear from the board shortly. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We will move along to 63 Valley Brook Road. Mr. Etkin.
Flip side. The other side. Turn it the other way.
That first.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Etkin. Thank you for coming. And we will begin with the assessment.
Thank you. The subject property is roll number 03093001980. This is 63 Valley Brook Road. This is a vacant residential lot in Bridgewater Trails. It has R1M zoning. The lot size is 11,302 square feet. It has a retention pond influence, and the 2021 assessment is $199,000, which is $17.61 per square foot. The property was purchased post-reference in November 2019, so I could not consider that sales price during my review. I have 4 comparable properties here that are all vacant residential lots in Bridgewater Trails. All have R1M zoning. The lot size ranges from 6,444 square feet to 13,291 square feet. Comparables 1, 2, and 3 have retention pond influences, and comparable 4 is slightly closer to the pond, so it is retention pond adjacent. The sale price for these properties ranges from $199,000 to $249,000. Time adjusted sale price ranges from $199,000 to $252,200, which gives us a time adjusted price per square foot of $18.12 to $33.36. So I feel that based on these comparable properties, the subject properties assessment is supported by market evidence prior to the reference date of April 1st, 2018. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Etkin, do you have questions of the assessor on the information that she has presented?
Yes, just one question, whether or not there is any proof of value of the actual subject site, any documentation or listing prices of 63 Valley Brook?
You mean the November 2019 sale price?
No,
Or
the April 2018 price.
we go by the land titles registration date, which is what we use as the sale date. So that's why in our system it shows up as November 2019, because that would be on the land titles document, but that would be likely the same sale. So we are aware of that sale price, but anything that occurs after April 1st of 2018, we can't consider for this assessment.
The other 4 properties were all registered before April 1st, 2018?
Yes, the dates on the brief I've provided are the land titles registration dates.
And do you have any proof of the value? My understanding is it's the fair market value that's the relevant.
Yes, as of
April 1st, 2018.
Yes.
So my question, and I don't know when that property was available for sale, but I'm wondering if the assessor has any documentation to show the value of that property at that time, April 1st, 2018.
No, she doesn't. She's using sales to prove the value.
Okay.
She has no documentation saying that is the value.
Okay, that's the only question I have.
Okay, thank you. We'll see if Mr. Lorendo has any questions.
Are any of your, okay, so the lots that you have, no, I'm good.
Mr. Felix, question?
No questions.
I have a question. The difference between the influence and the adjacent. Could you explain that again, please?
So when a property backs directly onto the pond, so their backyard is right on the pond, we consider that adjacent. When there's a strip of green space, sometimes there's a walking path, we would consider that an influence. So they have a view from their backyard, but there's green space before you actually get to the pond.
Public space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Does that public space mean that it'll always be public space?
Typically, in this case, it's the park that's behind the subject property is a park, and then there's a pond further back. So it is park area. Yeah.
This property's got a very small piece on the influence for the lake. Is that not correct? It's more on the walkway than anything else, or the drive?
Yeah.
The road beside it?
The back of the lot, the back angle is almost kind of L-shaped along
Yeah.
a walking path, and then a small
Got
back
that
portion.
small piece for influence, not like the other one across the street from it.
Yes.
120, that's good. But it's still got the street beside it, correct? There's another street that goes right beside it and through?
No, that's
over
a
the bridge, or is
That's
that a
a
walkway?
walkway.
That's a
They're both
walkway.
walkways.
Yeah,
That's the walkway that
Walkway
goes
to the
through,
park.
over
Straight
top,
through.
yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Okay, Mr. Etkin, if you'd like to take us through your information.
Sure. I was here in March, I think, of this year, appealing the original assessment, which again was $199,000. At that time, I didn't have the documentation that I have now, and what I've provided to you is 2 documents now. One I had previously, and the date of that, the first agreement in this package is my and my now wife's purchase agreement dated July of 2019. And on page 3 of that, it sets out the land value at on page 4 of that, it sets out the actual value, fair market value. It was, we negotiated a price with the vendor. Not much negotiating on our part because their price was set.
But this is post-reference,
yes,
correct?
This is post-reference,
Okay.
$165,000.
I've stated a couple times already, I think this
Yeah,
morning, that
no,
we're
I'm-
not going
I'm-
to look at the post
Right,
reference.
no, and I understand that, but the point of this is that we started negotiating with the vendor of this property probably 2 months or 3 months earlier. We signed an agreement in July of 2019, and I'm not saying this is the value back in April of 2018. I'm just setting out the process. We started discussions with the vendor probably in March of 2019, signed an agreement in July of 2019, and the property was registered in, I think the assessor said November of 2019, all at the same value, $165,000. And that's the price stated. The second document, which is the longer document, you'll see is dated April 10th of 2018, so 9 days after the relevant date.
And where is that document?
That's the second document. That's the long document. The 8.5 by 14 inch document.
Oh, okay.
And that's between the Manitoba Housing and Renewal Corporation and KDR Design Builders, Inc. And that agreement you can see at the top of the front page is dated April 10th. This is a document I didn't have when I was here in March, I think. So I was able to get this document just recently from the vendor. And if you look at the third last page, for the subject property, it sets the value out at $165,000. Third last page, it's entitled Schedule B.
Schedule B.
No.
Okay.
And I guess my submission is that this document, even though it was dated on April 10th, would have been negotiated long before April 10th. We started our discussions in March and signed in July and bought the property in November. Their agreement is dated April 10th. They probably would have started, although I have no proof, they probably would have started their discussions and had the value set long before April 1st of 2018.
Yes, there is, we do have a little leeway there.
Yeah, so my comment, my submission is that if the board is looking for fair market value, we have the price that's been agreed to between a provincial government department and a developer at $165,000. A year and 2 or 3 months later, we have that same price verified by my purchase agreement with the developer at $165,000. And then that price was again confirmed at the time of registration at the land titles office in, I guess, November at $165,000. So if the board is looking for an assessment of the values, a fair market value, then my submission is that on April 1st and earlier, it was $165,000, regardless of what the other comparables are. And that if the assessor doesn't have any documentation of a higher value, you can have all kinds of comparables, but this is a price that's been agreed to by the provincial government, the developer, and by us as the purchaser at $165,000.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Very good. We'll see if the assessor has questions.
No, I have no questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Feelick, questions?
No, it's quite understanding. Thank you.
Mr. Lorendo?
Oh, good.
So who is this between the Schedule B sale was between the province?
The developer of this entire property area, Bridgewater, I think Phase 5 is the Manitoba Housing and Renewal Corporation.
Okay.
And they're the ones who developed it. They wanted certain visitable and accessible properties built. So they set certain provisions for the builders, and KDR Design Builders Inc. is the builder that we subsequently bought the land from. And they're the party that optioned this specific subject site, I guess it is called.
So was there any changes to the land between this sale and when you bought it, with services or anything like that?
Not to my, I don't know if it was serviced at the time, but they basically had an obligation, the builder, I guess, had an obligation to service the property.
It was serviced when you got it.
It was serviced, okay. So it was bought as serviced land and we bought it from KDR as serviced land with no change. I mean, when we bought it, it was brush, it was natural grass, it was, you know, a lot of garbage blown on it, but I mean, it's a great site.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that, but.
Okay, I have a question of the assessor. You don't show this sale in your brief. Is there a reason why the sale isn't showing up in your brief?
So that I'm aware of, we don't have record of that sale going through land titles. Do you know, was it a sale of this specific property from Manitoba Housing and Renewal Corporation to the builder? Or?
I don't think it was. I think the nature of their agreement is an option agreement. So I think KDR agreed with Manitoba Housing that if somebody ever bought the land from them, they would then be able to exercise that option and buy the land from Manitoba Housing. So I don't think it was actually a sale that was registered in land titles at that time. I think that the builder pays an option fee.
15%.
Yeah, basically says if somebody buys it from us within, maybe there's a period of time set out, I don't know, but you know, if somebody buys it from us, we'll buy it from you. And then, but I don't think it's registered in land titles prior to the time we buy it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Felix, you have a question?
It just raises a question in my mind. Builder bought the land from the Manitoba Corporation.
Yep.
And in the meantime held it. And then sold it to you. You would normally think that there would have been a markup of some
Well,
sort.
he bought it from KDR.
Yeah, I think that's what you're saying. I bought it a year later, right?
Yes.
Yeah, from the builder.
Builder.
Yeah.
From the builder, but the builder had an option
Yeah.
for the same price as you did.
Yeah.
So if he had the option to pay $165, would you not think that he would have asked a little more money?
Can't according to the contract.
Sorry?
Can't what?
Can't according to the contract.
Oh,
I think
I didn't see that part.
I think Manitoba Housing basically set the price and then said, but they set it in April of 2018 or in March or February of 2018. And that was the price of $165,000. My understanding is that's the price that's the time you're looking at. And that was set at $165,000.
I didn't get all that.
Okay. That's all my questions. Any other questions?
No.
Summation from the assessor?
No, that's okay. I covered it.
Okay, Mr. Etkin, any last
Again, just
words?
that if the board is looking for the value as of April 2018, then the value I think is clearly set out in this agreement between Manitoba Housing and KDR at $165.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll take a 5-minute recess. Thank you. Call the meeting back to order. And, we will deal with, which one will we,
Just deal with the order now, like 85 Woodington.
okay, yes. We'll start at the top, 85 Woodington Bay.
Okay. And would you like me to go over the comparables, or am I just reading the roll number and assessed value?
If you would just give us a quick overview of them, that would be good.
Sure, sounds good. Thank you. Okay, the subject property is 100,000,881,00. This is 85 Woodington Bay. This is a two-story located in Linden Woods, built in 1984 with an effective year built 1994. Living area is 1,744 square feet. Full basement with basement finish, 1 full bath, 3 half baths, 2 showers. There is central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and a multiple car attached garage. The lot size is 6,489 square feet, and it's located on an internal corner. The 2021 assessment for this property is $456,000, and it was purchased post-reference in May of 2019. I have 4 comparables.
That's probably.
You don't need me to go over the comps, okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. We will take that under advisement. 872 Ash.
The subject property is roll number 1205-119-0500, 872 Ash Street this is a 1-story in South River Heights. Year built and effective year built are 1960, 1,669 square feet, full basement with basement finish. There is central air, no fireplace, and a multiple car detached garage. The lot size is 6,023 square feet. And the 2021 assessment for this property is $457,000, which is $273.82 per square foot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
$394 Beaverbrook Street.
The subject property is roll number 12097-804540. This is 394 Beaverbrook Street. This is a 2-story house located in the Sir John Franklin neighborhood, built in 2017. The living area is 1,824 square feet. There's a full basement with no basement finish, 1 full bath, 2 half baths, and 1 shower. There is central air conditioning, no fireplace, and no garage. The lot size is 3,997 square feet. The current 2021 assessment for this property is $746,000, which is $408.99 per square foot. I was in contact with the owner of this property. We did need to correct our records, so we had the basement as being finished, which I've now removed. That decreased the model value to $711,000, which I still felt was too high based on these comparable properties. So I am recommending a reduced 2021 assessment to $630,000, which is $345.39 per square foot. And I did actually receive an email just this morning from the applicant accepting that recommendation. I have a copy here if anyone would like to see the email.
Pardon me?
I have a copy of the email here if you'd like to see it. He accepted this morning. Sure.
Thank you. That was 394 Beaverbrook.
Yeah.
Very good. 304 Oxford.
The subject property is roll number 1204-1816000. This property has actually sold as of August 10th, 2020. So the applicant is no longer the owner, and I will be requesting a 46-2.
Thank you very much. And that concludes the hearing. Coming?
You've been
Thank
waiting
you.
for that.
Yeah.